believe it's 23 years. And I have tremendous respect for those that were running into those buildings when everyone else was running out with no idea what was happening. And here is a chilling stat. On that day, 343 New York City Fire Department first responders died that day. 343. Since then, in the 23 years that have transpired since then, 360 more have died from ground zero related illnesses. So now more people have died, more firemen in New York City, the more NYFD have died since 9/11 due to 9/11 than died on a 9/11. Now, we talk about sports heroes all the time, but the real heroes are those first responders who gave their all for us. The police, the fire department, all the other first responders, and, of course, the military. Now, back to the more trivial things in our life, which is our sports. I always say this. We work in the toy department of life. It's a true story. You come here to get away from it. Don't ask me about the debate. I don't want to talk about the debate. All right? We'll give you a respite from it. I got to mention 9/11. It's 9/11. We can't not. But we move on. So the Braves win, the Mets lose. We're back into a flat-footed tie for the final playoff spot in the National League. The Orioles win, the Yankees lose. So that goes back to a one-game lead for the Yanks in the loss column. But Diamondbacks won. And so they're still 2 up on the Mets and the Braves. 3 of those 2 teams are making the playoffs. The Padres are going to be the top wildcard team. Diamondbacks, Mets, Braves, 2 of those 3 make the playoffs. And the Braves arguably have the easiest schedule down the stretch. Josh Carey is coming up at the bottom of the hour with some country hardball talk. This is the last week of the Trash Panda season, by the way. They're on the road. So at the top of the one, David Moulton, as I mentioned, is back from Miller and Moulton in the morning, where you hear him over on Talk Radio WZZN. He was in Iowa City for the Cyclones' comeback win over Iowa. He was in San Francisco for the 49ers beatdown of the Jets. He will be in Purdue, at Purdue, this week to see Notre Dame and Purdue renew what has always been a great rivalry. And now, of course, Notre Dame, does Riley Leonard get his first touchdown pass? And Purdue has only played 1 game against the FCS school, Indiana State. Isn't that where? Yeah, Indiana State. That's Larry Bird School. So, so David will be in. On Monday night, he'll be in Philadelphia with Troy and Joe for the Battle of the Birds as the Falcons go up there in what is suddenly a very important game for the Falcons. So we'll overreact to everything with David. The NFL had all-time high ratings Sunday, Monday. Well, Monday was down a little bit from last year with the Bills and the Jets and Aaron Rodgers, debut with the Jets. However, you have to factor in the DirecTV effect. I mean, the DirecTV effect, the people who have DirecTV, if they had ABC or ESPN on DirecTV, they didn't get the game, including in San Francisco and in New York City. That's a lot of people right there. DirecTV subscribers in those places, not to mention the rest of the country, like Joe. All right, so your lines are open. You want to jump in, you can do it. 256-576-4977. You can text the show, 732-9TA show, 732-982-7469. It's a great way to communicate with us. My X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. The Zone is on X at 97.7 ESPN. You can go ahead and follow at ESPN Winchester as well for WCDT down there, up there. Check out our YouTube channel at WZZN TV. Go ahead and subscribe to that bad boy. If you're looking at it right now, you're seeing an image from 9/11 from the rescue workers that is behind me. And I'll fire up a couple of other images as well throughout the show today. The Zone has an app that you're going to want to have, and you're going to want to snag the Talk Radio WZZN app as well for all your Rocket City Trash Panda action this final week. And on Friday night on Talk Radio 2, the stream for Talk Radio, Huntsville High is at Madison City Stadium to take on James Clemens with Drew Darman and Michael Seal on the call for that one. We got a slammed Friday night for you coming up on the High School Sports Streaming Network. It could be some weather-affected games, too, this week. We're talking about weather moving in with the hurricane that's coming up through the Gulf, and we could get the remnants of that with a lot of rain, not only tomorrow, but possibly on Friday as well. Now, we will have the Cotton Classic, Buckhorn and Hazelgreen, on the air in the primary stream with John Boy, Dewey Magoo, and me on that one. On zones 3 and 5, Randolph and Westminster crews will have that great game for you. If you like Randolph, you're listening on 3. If you like Westminster, you're listening on 5. By the way, great numbers, too, as far as the people listening to those games on the streams. On zone 4, John and Joe Hunk will have Sparkman and Albertville. I have no idea how good Albertville is. Maybe Joe can tell us. And after, of course, all of that action, it's the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show powered by the Gunnersville Ace Hardware as well. Franklin County and Tullahoma. There's a big rivalry. They will be on WCDT over the air. Huntland is off this week. All right, back at Command Central, playing the Plat Doesn't Matter and the Stacks of Wax and answering the phones and keeping us on the air. The one and the only, Jumpin' Joe Hunk.
Baby shark, baby shark.
Hello, I'm looking for some horsemen.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen. You know, I understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lift.
If I saw myself in clothes like those, I'd have to kick my own ass.
Tom, can you get me off the hook? For old time's sake.
Who in the blue hell are you?
I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is.
And this is important because let's get that third one. They hit that little tank, get that heroic ability.
Satisfaction is guaranteed. So passionate.
Jordan!
So long, Nashville, Tennessee. You can't have what's left of me. And as far as I can tell.
So, Joe, I'm guessing you were about 17 years old. I guess maybe you were, senior in high
you're
school?
Right. Yeah, I was a senior in high school. It was first period because we were on the block system. I think it was like our first year on the block system. And I was sitting in Miss Crosby's English class when it happened. And so it was crazy because the guy sitting behind me, and I'll never forget, it was Ian Kerr. And he said, that's Osama bin Laden. He just did that. And I had no clue who Osama was at that point in time. Not one thing. And he was the first person that he named throughout it. And we were basically terrified that entire day. And I actually remember having a baseball practice at Madison Academy right after it. And I'm sitting up on that hill because they have a parking lot overlooking the baseball and softball facility. And I sat there and I just stared at Redstone Arsenal because that was on, it's one of the big targets and we had no clue what was going on. And I remember calling my parents being like, yeah, I know I'm supposed to be practicing right now, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave. I don't really feel good about this. And so I remember leaving baseball practice because I'd gotten there before everybody else. And I was just like, nope, I'm out.
So they didn't come looking for you. The parents did say, "Hey, did school let you guys out early?"
No. As a matter of fact,
really?
No. We all the teachers turned the televisions on, and we started watching it. Like all classes had stopped, everything, and it was crazy because Miss Crosby's class that I was in, she was a hard-nosed teacher, and I mean it was English class. It was something I was horrible at anyway, and it was crazy because our assistant principal came over and told her, and she turned the television on automatically, which is something she doesn't do. And we started and we watched it the entire time. We went to the next class, same thing. Next class, same thing. We watched it all day.
Wow. That's shocking, that, especially in a military town, because I would think, I remember telling my wife, look, we're okay here. We're in Southwest Florida. I'm like, we're not a target. All right. Southwest Florida is not a target. At that time, I wasn't aware of the Tennessee Valley and was still 3 years removed from coming there. So I didn't know anything about it. And but I would have think that the Valley would have been a target because of the insulation.
Well, and that's exactly what it was. Yeah, no, that's exactly what the thought was. Is like, hey, Redstone Arsenal is one of the top targets, and if this is a first line of attack against the other ones, that if they're going based on military bases and everything, then yeah, you thought about the Redstone Arsenal. And so, we were absolutely terrified throughout the whole thing on it. So I'll absolutely never forget all of that stuff with it.
Did you have school the next day, or were you done?
Oh yeah, no, school was never canceled. That happened on a Tuesday.
Really?
School was never canceled. The football games were never canceled. Nothing.
Really?
Yeah, nothing was canceled whatsoever. We went about it, and we were all just kind of mindful of everything that was going on. So it didn't change the way of life as far as taking days off or anything like that.
Really?
But all it did was just kept us mindful of, all right, let's pay attention to everything just a little bit more.
Well, I know in Southwest Florida, everything was shut down. I mean, the schools were shut down. I do not believe we played. I'll get David has a steel trap memory, so I'll get his recollection on that coming up later on. All right, let's get a quick break in here. When we come back, Wolverine Dan. Now, we tried to go to him yesterday, and I don't know what the situation was, and I don't know if he's still in Europe or what the deal is. But when we come back, Wolverine Dan is up first, so we'll hit that right after this. It's the Thom Abraham Show. Back with more in a moment.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling sluggish? Gentlemen, Game Day Men's Health. Game Day Men's Health is here to help you. Braden is here. Braden, you've got the answers.
Thanks, Scott. Whether it's low T, erectile dysfunction, weight loss, or a number of other things, we have the solution for them.
It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call today at
256-850-1570.
You can find them online.
GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
Hey, what man wouldn't like to have tests done in a man cave?
That's right. Come in for your free test and consultation, walk into a world-class staff, a comfortable, relaxed environment, and we got your results in about 20 minutes with appointments less than an hour.
And the big game is always on the TV. It's Game Day Men's Health. Give them a call.
256-850-1570.
You can find them online at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Huntsville/The Zone.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, InvisiCook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash and the freezer's free and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com. Thom Abraham Show is brought to you by Owen Home Appliance Center and their Lacey Springs showroom, which is spectacular, voted the best appliance showroom in the state of Alabama, I think, maybe in the whole world. I'm not 100% sure there. There's my debate reference. That is the best showroom ever in the history of the world. Just 8 miles south of the river on 231. If you get it, you get it. Okay. Anyway, they got a totally interactive showroom down there, and you can go down there and check out everything, including the upright and chest freezers that they have. Brand name upright and chest freezers, which are ready for you to pick up. You're going to head on down there and check it out. They also deliver to your home as well. And while supplies last, you still get the $50 gift card towards the purchase of Wagyu beef when you purchase a freezer down there. It's Owen Home Appliance Center. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service. It's right there in the name. All right, let's give this a shot. We weren't able to get him in yesterday because his phone sounded like he was on the moon. He might be on the moon still. I don't know, which would be Scotland. But he joins us now, Wolverine Dan. Wolverine Dan, welcome to the show. How are you?
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you fine. Are you back yet or not?
Yes, I am. I came back Monday. I was up pretty much 24 hours. So
yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that's good. How
Speaking
was
of
it?
history, in Edinburgh, Scotland, I played a course that was the fourth oldest course in the world.
Wow.
And it's called the Bruntsfield Links Golfing Society. I'm going to tell you what, because the climate there right now, it's around 60s to 70s. Beautiful, plush, green, not even a cart path. You can drive anywhere you want to drive. We were on a cart. I'm going to tell you what, it is gorgeous. This, of course, Scotland is an island by itself.
Yeah.
And if you know what a scully is an island by itself, away from where you're actually viewing it from another island. And they were there out in the ocean, and our golf courses in the ocean. It was absolutely stunning. The grass, I swear to God, Tom, it's zoysia, and it balls up nice, and it's almost like it's teed up every time you hit it.
That's beautiful. But I got to ask you a question. Are you talking to us on one of them big brick phones like Zach used to have on Saved by the Bell, like where you call it? Look like you're calling in an airstrike with an antenna that's 2 feet long. I mean, what the heck is this phone
but
you're
it's
using?
making a really bad sound right now. So
yeah, it's popping and
I'm not sure what it is. I think it. You know what it is? This phone might be protesting the fact that you're getting rid of my Natty Danny. Maybe that's the reason why this phone's not acting right.
Maybe. So if I say Natty Danny, you think the phone will be crystal clear again? Who's your service provider?
Well, AT&T.
Okay.
But here's the deal. It doesn't matter.
Did you even go by St. Andrews? Did you at least look
I
at
wanted
St.
nothing.
Andrews?
I didn't care about it. That's not where he wanted to go.
It might have been lush too.
It's the fourth oldest golf course in the world.
But the oldest is St. Andrews. It may be lush too this time of year. Maybe it would have been in great shape.
Yeah, no. See, I paid a lot less than what I would pay at St. Andrews. Trust me.
Okay. Well,
and this course is just as nice as St. Andrews. There's nothing wrong with it. I had a great time. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I didn't watch any football, of course, because they had their football over there is not the football I watch.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to watch any of my games. Am I disappointed? I'm always disappointed when Michigan loses. But, our quarterback, we really don't have well, look at JJ left. JJ's pretty darn good quarterback. And we don't have that right now. And with our defense is decent. I think it's good enough to play with anybody. But the problem is they're out there too long because their offense can't sustain a drive.
Yeah, the defense is fine. It's the offense.
Stricter. They pretty much, tightened us up and, they crushed us. A slow bone stricter kind of thing going on. And it is what it is. But, hey, right now we're still 1-1. We got more games to play, and loss was a good loss. If there's anything such as a good loss to a third-ranked team in the nation.
Yeah. Well, the problem is the win over Fresno State wasn't very good either. You know what I mean? But listen, I got a suggestion for you because the Lions look pretty good. And I love your coach, man. I'm all in on the coach. And the Lions did look pretty good getting that victory over the Rams. Maybe, I'm just saying, maybe it covers kind of both. Maybe it's time to go Detroit Danny. I mean, I'm just saying, maybe you're double D. Maybe you got to be Detroit Danny. I'm just saying.
If they win the Super Bowl, I'll research the name for you, but it's definitely going to be something to do with the Lions.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Good to have you back. By the way, the Plainsman wants to hear from you. He's got a question for you. He wants to hear from you. I'm just saying, Joe, do you remember Saved by the Bell? Remember Zach
Grew
Morris?
up on Saved by the Bell.
All right, so Zach Morris, the first or the second? The original?
Oh, all
Saved
of
by
them.
the Bell?
Oh, every single one of them. Yeah.
So Zach Morris would have this brick of a phone. Remember, he would have the cell phone. It looked like he was calling in an airstrike. You know what I mean? It would have the big long antenna on it.
Yeah, like what you saw in Vietnam. Like he had the backpack on the back of it. He had to pick up the phone and put it on that way. That's exactly how it sounded.
And it was like a 3-amp phone. It would give you cancer. And the battery was like, if you got the long-lasting battery, it lasted like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
The regular battery lasted like 20 minutes. And then the long-last battery, my dad had the extra-sized big battery, and it would last like 45 minutes. That's the phone it sounds like he's on right there.
I mean, it looks like it wasn't just purchased recently. Like it is from 1991 is what it sounds like. Yes.
I don't know, man. That was bad. And he lives right in town.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe AT&T also cut off his plan like they cut off ESPN. I mean, maybe that was the case. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's exactly what it was. They're making some cuts.
Let's get a quick break. When we come back, Josh Carey will join us of the Carey Broadcasting family. We will talk a little bit of baseball next. We always do on a Wednesday. Slip a little baseball in during the pennant races. We'll do that next right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
College football Saturday, number 4 Alabama on the road to take on Wisconsin and Camp Randall in Madison. Both teams at 2-0. Alabama a 16-point road favorite, minus 800 on the money line. Wisconsin plus 550 with the over-under at 51.5, the over at even money, and the under minus 120. The Auburn Tigers home to take on the New Mexico Lobos. Auburn a 28.5-point home favorite, minus 7,500 on the money line. New Mexico plus 2,500. Over-under at Jordan-Hare Stadium is at 60.5. For VSiN.com, I'm Tony Desiri, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at JetSuperstore.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. But it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-4600. 3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. More cloud cover this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're going to stay free from any rain Wednesday afternoon, but we are going to be just a touch on the breezy end of the spectrum. Sustained winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Could get some wind gusts up to 30 or 35 miles per hour. Rain moves into the Tennessee Valley as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Temperatures dropping into the mid 60s. We're talking about showers and thunderstorms through a good majority of Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Listen to Buckhorn High School football all season long
Landrum down near the goal line, and he's in for the Bucks touchdown.
on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball. The man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Nuke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque.
And this segment of the Thom Abraham Show, fittingly enough today, brought to you by the great Americans at Rocket City Federal Solutions. They're committed to streamlining engineer solutions for all aspects of installations and facilities construction and management worldwide with expertise and precision. These guys at Rocket City Federal Solutions, helping keep us safe, have over 35 years combined experience, led by Jason Largen, their CEO. And man, I tell you what, they do a tremendous job for us to make sure that we do stay safe, not only here, but all around the world. And they're based right out of here, right out of the Rocket City. And that's why they're Rocket City Federal Solutions. Go to RocketCityFederalSolutions.com to learn more about them at RocketCityFederalSolutions.com. Joining us now, speaking of great Americans, the one and the only Josh Carey is the voice of the Trash Pandas and talks baseball with us every week as well. Josh, welcome back. How are you, man?
Doing good, Tom. We're just in Chattanooga right now, winding this thing down. Ready to get back home, start the off season, but hopefully we can end the regular season on a high note.
So you did not drive home early this morning to do the stair climb? I mean, I would think that you would have been all over doing that, that stair climb at Toyota Field this morning.
Nah, I would have passed out after the first flight or two. But no, we were so thrilled to welcome those guys in, and it's such a fitting tribute. I know, I know there are other places that do this, but it just means so much being in the community we're in with Redstone Arsenal and all the military personnel we have there. Anytime we can do something that commemorates a very important day in our nation's history, we're very proud to do it. So we were honored to have those folks there, and good on them to take part in that.
And then on Saturday, the USA Patriots amputee softball teams return to Toyota Field, and they'll be playing Team AUSA, the Association of the United States Army, in a 9-inning softball game, followed by fireworks and so on, which is, these great veterans who give so much for our country, great opportunity to go down there and support these guys. And tickets are $10, and it's a tremendous thing to do down there on Saturday night.
Yeah, and one of those teams is the amputee softball team. So these are guys who lost limbs while serving our country. So we do it every year. It's a great way for us to cap off our season. And again, we always do it the week of 9/11. And again, it's just such an important cause, and it's a reminder that, you know, Rocket City Trash Pandas baseball, yeah, we're a business and we try to make money just like anyone, but we're also a community outlet, and things like this go a long way to doing that. And it's just it's our way of showing our community that we really do care about our local community and about the people who help serve us and help serve us around the globe. So, you know, it's just a softball game, but it's so much more than that. And we hope folks can come on out, take a little bit of time out of their college football Saturday, and do something that's a little bigger than really anything else that's out there.
Speaking of military and first responders, you know, you've been around for a minute. Can you recall exactly what was going on and what you were doing on 9/11 now some 23 years ago, which is amazing to even think about that?
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, I was at Guilford College in Greensboro, North Carolina. I was a sophomore, and I remember I would wake up every morning and I would go check my mailbox, and it was like one of those common mailbox areas, like a post office type deal. And to get there, I would walk through like the school cafeteria, and you know, it would lead me into a hallway that led to the mailboxes. Well, as I'm walking through, it's about 8:30 in the morning. There's no one in there. And I just remember hearing on one of the big screen TVs in the background that the World Trade Center had been hit. And I was still half asleep, so it didn't quite register with me at first what had happened. And I checked my mailbox, and then I started thinking, did I hear that right?
Yeah.
And I go back into the cafeteria lounge, and I, you know, see this building up in smoke with a plane in the middle of it. And you knew pretty immediately that this was going to be a different day. And it was right after the second tower had been hit. So everyone kind of knew that this was not some freak accident. This was the real deal. And it was a wild day. I remember, you know, the school I was out, it was a Quaker school. So the idea of going to war was very foreign to those guys. Mm-hmm. But everywhere else, it was a very different matter. And you just remember being in shock the rest of the day. But it really didn't hit you until the next 2 or 3 days later when the buildings fell and you realized what all had happened.
Yeah, I was on the air actually when it happened, and when the producer came on and first said a plane had hit the you know, North Tower, I you know, I, like a lot of other people, I thought it was like a Cessna 150 that flew off course or something, you know what I mean, and banged into the tower. It just it was unimaginable as it all handled. And then baseball, I thought, did a great job. Of course, President Bush not wearing a vest, going out there and throwing one of the best opening pitches ever, you know, when baseball started back up again. I can't remember if it was a week or 2 weeks that baseball had shut down for, but he goes out there and he zips one in there at Yankee Stadium. And I thought that baseball did a wonderful job helping everybody kind of get on with their lives, if you will.
Well, you know what? It was a sports world thing, right? So I remember baseball was going to take 3 days off, and then they were going to return that weekend. But then when the NFL postponed and when college football postponed, that's when baseball said, oh, boy, we can't really go out there on our own when everyone else is shut down. And so that wound up pushing everything back about a week. And here's the funny thing. You talk about George Bush, right? That was actually the World Series, Diamondbacks and Yankees, where he did that. And here's what you don't know. Our old friend Ralph Nelson, right? He was the, I guess, the director of umpires at the time or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And here's
he had
what
been in the Diamondback organization. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I can't remember what he was doing, but at that time, when that pitch was thrown, a lot of people don't know this, the umpiring crew was actually off to the side. The home plate umpire for that ball game had actually gone back in the tunnel until after the first pitch because they had a Secret Service agent out there beside home plate with a protective vest and a gun, and he was strapped up ready to go unless something crazy happened. They had a Secret Service agent dressed up as the home plate umpire standing out there next to Bush just in case something happened. Yeah, it's a wild, wild story, but it was such a different time. I remember that weekend. I was broadcasting football games for Guilford, and we went up to Washington and Lee University. And, you know, Division III football, it's not Division I. It doesn't get a lot of attention. So we went ahead and played. And I have to be honest with you, Tom, it was very therapeutic to be able to get out of the house and get off of TV and actually do something that was somewhat fun, because there was nothing you could do about what had just happened. It was just nice to have something different. I understand why everyone put things on hold that week, but I don't know if they did the right thing or not. But what else can you do? It's not something you can really criticize.
10 days, I guess, is how long baseball was off for. 10 days, and the Mets and the Braves were in a bitter playoff race at that particular point in time, like they are right now. And and the story goes that when they picked up play 10 days later at Shea Stadium, because of the ballpark, their Shea was so close to LaGuardia and the planes. That's why the New York Jets were the New York Jets, because the planes constantly flying over Shea Stadium, that the fans were very nervous. There was a lot of nervousness in the grandstands when those planes would go over the stadium, because people were like, what's next? Because you would think that would be, if you wanted to take out a bunch of Americans at a game, you could do it. All right, so speaking of the Braves and the Mets, Braves win last night, Mets lose last night, back in a flat-footed tie. This is going to go right down to the stretch, I think, the way this one will work out. But the Braves, now they do have those 4 games coming up with Los Angeles at home. But after that, at Cincinnati, at Miami, the Mets come in for 3, and they always seem to own the Mets. And then a Kansas City team also in the playoff race in the American League, they finish up with Kansas City. I don't know why baseball would have an interleague, series to end the season, especially with the Braves, who are always in contention. I wish that Braves-Mets deal was the final weekend. The Kansas City thing could have been the weekend before or the week before. But, the schedule is, kind of favorable for the Braves. If they don't get this done, I don't want to blame but themselves.
Yeah, well, the reason why there's an interleague series is because of 15 teams in each league. So you're going to have one at the end. At every series, every time there's a series, there's going to be an interleague series, and that just so happens to be Atlanta and Kansas City. But you're right. Outside of that Dodgers series, you ought to feel pretty good if you're Atlanta. I'm looking at what the Mets are doing. They got to play Philly for 7. Washington is an improved team, and then they get the Brewers at the very end of the season at Milwaukee. Right. So it's going to be tough sledding for them. The big thing, though, if you're Atlanta, is as tough as things have been the last few weeks, here you are. You still have a chance, and all you got to do is play solid baseball. And I think what's been so frustrating for the team over the last 6 weeks or so is just the inconsistency. I know you're banged up. I know there are a lot of things that are working against you, but it's a better team banged up than what they've performed at times over the last 6 weeks. So if they can just bear down, take care of business, if you get 2 against the Dodgers, you ought to feel pretty good about yourself. You just can't go into another 6-7 game slide. That's the only thing that can really tell you at this point.
And you got to keep an eye on the Diamondbacks, too. I mean, the Diamondbacks are only a couple of games ahead of both the Mets and the Braves. Both the Mets and the Braves might make it. The Diamondbacks have 7 left with Milwaukee. Then they'll play San Francisco at home. They do get Colorado for 3 at Colorado. But then they finish with San Diego. And the Padres right now sitting in the number 1 wild card spot. They're going to be tough. It's not out of the realm of possibility that the Diamondbacks could fall out of this deal, and and that the Mets and the Braves could slip in.
Yeah, and I think there's a pretty good shot of that happening just because of the schedule you put out there. You looked at the NL West, and you could see just how brutal this thing is. I mean, even the Giants, who are out of it, they're only 3 games under 500, and they're second to last, only ahead of the Rockies. So you knew that these 4 teams, the Giants, the Diamondbacks, the Padres, and the Dodgers, would sort of cancel themselves out because it's such a tough division. And so that's what's going to really help both Braves and the Mets, is the fact that they don't have to deal with a lot of that. The Braves, of course, get the Dodgers, but outside of that, just let those guys beat up on each other. And if you're the Braves and Mets, just try to hold serve everywhere you go. If you have a 3-game series, take 2. If you have a 4-game series, take 2 or 3. As long as you can just take it series by series and not go into a 4 or 5 game tailspin, that's all you can hope for. And if you do that, your chances of getting in are pretty good.
Josh Carey has been our guest. Josh, I appreciate you so much. Congratulations on another season in the books with the Trash Pandas. And I know you got a little break coming up, but then people are going to hear you on our air once again before the season is out, helping us out with some high school football down the stretch as well. So we'll look forward to hearing you in October on that, but we'll also look forward to talking baseball throughout the races here.
All right. Sounds good, Tom. Thank you so much.
All right. Appreciate it. Josh Carey. All right. By the way, those of you that are watching on WZZN TV, you're missing a treat. If you're not watching on WZZN, is that we use some different images and so on for the show. But Joe, take a look over my shoulder there. That is the beautiful Tennessee River. I shot that actually myself coming back from San Diego. I was actually was coming back from Houston on a connecting flight and was coming into Huntsville, and that's the Tennessee River. That's the Decatur area there. You see the two bridges just to my left ear there, and that's that whole Decatur Flats area where I love to fish and so on. And the sun was going down. It was a beautiful scene, and I snapped that from my window seat on the plane, and there you go. So it's a really cool image.
Yeah, and that river also is a way that you could, if you wanted to, that you could take that river and through a couple of twists and turns could actually make your way to Neyland in Knoxville.
Not only can you make your way to Neyland and Knoxville on the Tennessee River, that's a not fairly direct shot. You work your way up to Nickajack, Gunnersville, Nickajack, then through Chickamauga, and then Watts Bar, and then Fort Loudon, and boom, you're right there to the Tennessee River. But you go the other way. I have a buddy that is a guide at Gunnersville, and in the winter he makes some extra money taking two different clients of his. He drives their yachts from Knoxville. Get this, from Knoxville to Naples, Florida, and you run the river, and then you run the Tennessee River over towards Mississippi, then get into Tennessee Thom, over into the Mississippi River, from the Mississippi River down into the Gulf of Mexico, and then all the way across the Gulf down to Naples, Florida. And he does that. He does it twice a year for a client that has a yacht. And he makes 30 gur for each trip, each direction. Can you imagine having enough money that you could pay somebody $30,000 to take your yacht from Knoxville to Naples, Florida, and then do it again in the spring of the next year?
No, that would actually be amazing. See, and now you've got my mind going, because now I'm thinking, and I know we get to break, is think about us getting a boat and everybody just going north or south, either going north for third Saturday in October or south for whatever reason we can come up with. Just throwing it out there for anybody that would want to do that.
Yeah. We could broadcast from it with all this remote equipment
the whole way
now.
The whole way.
Broadcast the shows and everything else doing that. It would be cool. All right, we're going to break it in. We'll come back, set you up for hour number 2 next. This is the Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of 12 world-famous theme parks, Orlando, Florida. With flights starting as low as just $49, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Orlando. Make all their dreams come true. Book nonstop to Orlando now at flybreeze.com.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy, and Madison Academy is proud of them. They have served our community through their practice, through volunteerism and service on national, state, and local boards. They explain the complexity of critical court rulings on local media. Their successful practice has been built on integrity. Both are veterans of MA Athletics and proud sponsors of Mustang football. McDaniel and McDaniel, attorneys at law. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. More cloud cover this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're going to stay free from any rain Wednesday afternoon, but we are going to be just a touch on the breezy end of the spectrum. Sustained winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Could get some wind gusts up to 30 or 35 miles per hour. Rain moves into the Tennessee Valley as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Temperatures dropping into the mid 60s. We're talking about showers and thunderstorms through a good majority of Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The SEC Football Championship Game, the College Football Playoffs, plus the College Football National Championship Game all play right here.
It'll be first and goal, Alabama.
The Tennessee Valley's home of ESPN Radio, 97.7 The Zone.
And welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Coming up at the top of the hour, David Moulton will join us, and we'll have an interesting conversation with him. He and I were working together in Southwest Florida on 9/11, and it was certainly was a fascinating day. I don't know if I remember everything exactly right. I know that David will remember everything exactly right. So we'll get with him. Then we're going to have open lines the rest of the way. Peyton Thorne said something very interesting, and I have a feeling that Jumpin' Joe Hunk is involved in that. Hugh Freeze also said something that was somewhat cryptic. But I think we know what he's talking about. Hour number 2 is on deck. It's a Thom Abraham Show. More right after this.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
At Wheelchairs for Warriors, serving America's heroes is our mission. With your support, we serve veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty across the United States of America, providing them custom fit, complex rehab mobility solutions to ensure they rejoin their lives at the highest level of independent mobility and function possible. Join the mission at wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in. Dolphins running back Raheem Mostert ruled out of tomorrow's game against the Bills with a chest injury. Running back Devon Achane ankle injury. Game time decision. A couple of records set by the NFL in terms of viewership for opening week. Averaged 21 million viewers per game, the most watched week one on record. The per game average on TV and digital platforms, a 12% increase over last year, according to the league and Nielsen. 123 million people saw at least part of one game, highest total for an opening week since 2019. The most watched NFL season opener between the Chiefs and Ravens, averaging 29.2 million viewers on TV and digital. Michigan football coach Sharon Moore finally has a completed contract. University announced he signed his contract. He was previously working under a memorandum of agreement he signed when he was hired in January.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Attention, attention, may I have the camp's attention?
Your home of the college football playoffs.
Playoffs?
Is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Playoffs? Playoffs?
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
Welcome to week 3 of our high school streaming network. Over the airwaves will be the Cotton Classic. It is Buckhorn and Hazel Green. Zone 3 features Randolph at Westminster Christian. Incidentally, that's Zone 3 and Zone 5. Zone 4 features the Sparkman Senators taking on the Albertville Aggies. Zone 6 is our game of the week, featuring the Grissom Tigers taking on the Bob Jones Patriots. Talk Radio 2 features the Huntsville Crimson Panthers at James Clements.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live, here he is, the big dog,
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho. Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like Dale McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond?
Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
And welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by our good friends at North Alabama Mortgage. You know, your average home equity is now at an all-time high. And with your average home equity at an all-time high, this is a great time to get in there and to use that equity, get rid of your high consumer debt, you know, things like credit cards and student loans and that kind of stuff. And look, I know the rates are a little bit high, but when the rates drop, you just go ahead and refi. It's that easy. And don't put off that new home purchase as well, because, you know, you can buy now, get the best price now, and then refi. As I said, same thing with home improvements or even buying a second property. If you're looking to buy an investment property, you can do it all with North Alabama Mortgage, and you can do it in Florida, Alabama, or Tennessee. Those are the markets that they cover. So go to NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com, and they bring us David Moulton each and every week, including today. And David joins us now via phone, not the usual as usual on WZZN TV. David, welcome in. How are you?
I'm good, Tom. How are you?
I am fantastic. Let's start with a little bit of history. You and I were working together on the same station in Southwest Florida when 9/11 went down. I was actually in the midst of doing a morning show at McDonald's, which I did every Tuesday morning at McDonald's with 77-cent Egg McMuffins. We didn't know what was going on, obviously. It happened during my show. We tried to describe as much as possible. Mike from Minnie, a legendary caller there, had called in and was giving us kind of the rhyme and verse of what was going on watching it. And then my recollection is that when you took over, you stayed on the air, I think 5 or 6 hours without even commercial breaks, kind of describing everything until ABC took over all the ESPN radio affiliates, and I think they knocked us off the air for a couple of weeks. Tell me where I'm misremembering it.
Well, that's pretty much how I remember it. I had a noon to 2 show Eastern. You were 7 to 10 a.m. And so obviously it started to go down midway through your show. And I was on, my mother called to wake me up. I was a local TV anchor. So I would do the midday radio show and then the 6 and 11 o'clock news. And my mom called and woke me up and said, hey, a plane went into the towers. Well, I grew up 45 minutes from there. And I remember growing up, there were small aircraft that hit the towers as they were being constructed. It wasn't 2 or 3 times small aircraft hit the Empire State Building. So that's what I thought she was calling about. Like, oh, wow, it's been a while since this happened. I turn on the Today Show, and as I'm on the phone with my mom, I see the second jet hit the second tower, and I say, Mom, I love you. We're under attack. I got to go. And I hung up, and I called our local news anchor and woke him up and said, Craig, grab 2 white shirts, 2 ties, 2 sport coats, shower and go into work. Bring your shaving kit, because I don't know when we're coming home. And I called the TV station and said, am I going to be needed at all? Because you never know what a local TV station is going to do. Are they going to want you to go out, talk to the local people in the sports community, or put you in on the street as a news person? And they said, no, you got the day off. So I got in my car shortly thereafter and went into the radio station. I knew you were on remote, but I went in early. And you guys were doing a great job, and you filled. And I don't know if you filled all the way to noon or not, but I think it was noon or pretty close to it.
Yeah.
And then we took over, and you're right, Tom. We did commercial-free noon to 6. And what was odd about the station we were on, it was a 10,000-watt AM, but it was the only talk station in the market. Okay, there were a station or 2 that aired conservative talk, but it wasn't a news talk. There was no local call-in show. So our sports station was the only show where you could get someone local talking to you, and you could get people calling in to talk about what was going on. And we were lucky, had a great producer that day. We get live press conferences from Governor Bush. I remember taking President Bush's comments before, when he landed in Kansas, I think it was, said, got back on the plane. We didn't know where. And we took calls. And I have so many vivid memories from that fateful day. But I remember getting off the air at 6 o'clock, getting in the car and pulling onto the road. And the road that we pulled on to get out of that station was one of the busier roads in Southwest Florida. And, Tom, it was an 18-minute drive home to my house.
Yeah.
And I remember driving for 10 minutes and not seeing a single car in either direction. It was like literally either the world had come to an end or the entire community was on curfew, and don't you violate it. And I just remembered feeling like so surreal. Like, is this a movie? has this really happened? I mean, and then I remember I called my wife, hey, coming home, blah, blah, blah. And she says, believe it or not, we need a few things. So I stop off at Publix, and there was a baker, and he always used to play with our 4-year-old daughter, give her a cookie, talk to her. And he was from the New York metropolitan area, and so was I. And so I go and I see him, and he is ghostly white. And I'm like, hey, are you okay? And he goes, I can't get a hold of my sister. She works in the towers. And so I take down his number. He takes down mine, and I say, listen, I got friends and family, and I took down her name. And I go, if by chance I hear anything, I'll call you. He said, great, I'll call you. I go home. The phone rings at the TV station. They said, can you anchor the 11 o'clock news? And so the only time, Tom, that I ever was the news anchor for a local newscast was the night of September 11th.
Wow. Yeah, I don't remember that part of it. I did remember the 6-hour shift that you pulled, but then I remember ABC taking us over, and they knocked us off the air for like a couple of weeks, wasn't it? I mean, the baseball came back 10 days later, but I think we were off the air for maybe 2 weeks. That ABC grabbed all of the ESPN affiliates and just took it over, and we just sat there and watched it develop.
Well, I don't know if it was 2 weeks, but I know the rest of the week. Okay, they took over a little TV story. So obviously it happened on that Tuesday.
Right.
And by Thursday, I go in and the receptionist looks like she's ready to quit. And I go, hey, are you okay? And she said, we are getting hundreds of phone calls from angry people wondering why their soap operas are not back on.
Wow.
And we were at NBC and ABC. So she was getting, and I'm not kidding, she had to chart every phone call. And on the Thursday, 48 hours afterwards, we took 1,100 phone calls from angry people wondering why their soap operas weren't back on.
Man, that is crazy. That is crazy stuff. And then I remember when baseball came back and the NFL came back as well, college football and all of those things. I think sports was really, really important for us to, because it came a point in time where, okay, the attacks are over. The country is responding. What are we supposed to do? What do we do now? And finally, all the leagues made the decision to come back. And when they did, I thought it was very important for the psyche of the country.
Well, and I do think it was fitting that the first baseball game back was in New York. And and if you believe in the sports gods, Piazza's 2-run homer in the 8th inning to have the Mets beat the Braves, and they never beat the Braves in anything. Yeah. But that night they won 3-2. And even Bobby Cox and some of the Braves said, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that we lost tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was it. They were in a heck of a playoff race at that particular point in time, as well. Just like they are now. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. The Mets were out of it. September 11th happens. Piazza hits the homer. The Mets go on a week-and-a-half-long tear, okay, and get right back in it. They're within a couple games really late in September. And then I think it was in Atlanta. I think John Franco blew a save in the 9th, and the Braves did what they normally do. All right, especially to the Mets. But another thing to remember, just like the DeMar Hamlin game 2 years ago when the league wanted the game to resume, and the players said, "No, we're done for the night." Okay, remember the league wanted to play. The NFL wanted to play that Sunday. And both the Jets, but especially the Giants, said, absolutely not. We're not playing. We'll forfeit if you make us play.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
That's the reason. I mean, the NFL was leaning towards playing, and the Jets and Giants adamantly said, no way.
Yeah. David Moulton, our guest. David is from the New York metropolitan area, and he and I worked at the same radio station at the same time during that whole fateful day. All right, so on to the toy shop, which is where we work here in the world of sports. The numbers have come out from opening day of football, and all across the board, NFL numbers skyrocketing again. It just doesn't stop. The numbers were up all the way across the board, except for Monday night. But Monday night is affected by this stupid DirecTV, ESPN, ABC thing, where people in both San Francisco, New York, and all around the country that have DirecTV couldn't get the game on ESPN or ABC, and the number went from 22 million last year to 20 million this year. Both huge numbers. I don't know how much that had to do with it, but I bet it had something to do with it.
Well, I know that the ESPN folks, though, are still very happy. It was the second highest rated Monday Night Football game since at least 2005. Yeah, last year did 22.7. This year did 20.9. But they're thrilled. I mean, the three highest rated season opening games they've had in the last 3 years or the last 20 years are the last 3 years with Joe and Troy. So, they're giving some of the credit to the new announcing team. I think it's A, better quality games from the league, and B, the popularity of the NFL. I mean, it's bigger than it's ever been. And it's why the NFL thinks they can play 16 international games. It's why they think they can move the season up a week. I mean, when's the last time the NFL did something in which there was a viewer fan backlash? I mean, Kaepernick did something which caused a backlash, but I don't know if the NFL did anything on top of it. I think the NFL just got caught up in it. But that now seems like forever ago.
I would argue that the Thursday night thing, and if they hadn't sold it for a pile of money, that we wouldn't be playing Thursday night games. I think that this was a chance for the streamer to get in with Amazon Prime, and if that didn't happen, I don't think we'd have Thursday night games. I still think they're a bane on the NFL.
Well, the players don't like it. But, Fox was paying $600 million a year. So there's, and that's after NBC and then CBS were paying $300 to $400 million a year. So Amazon just came in at $1 billion a year.
Yeah.
So, and then that opened up the streaming world, and, look at where we're going there.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. So you were in Ames, Iowa for what turned out to be an incredible football game there. I was singing the praises of Iowa and thinking that maybe they were, going to be one of the teams to break through out of the Big Ten, especially with Michigan's apparent demise. And then here comes Iowa State. How the heck did that happen?
Well, first off, the spread was only a 3-point spread, so. It was Iowa State's a better team than I think people were giving them credit for, and they had the better quarterback. Anthony Beck's son can play a little bit. He can chuck it. And the fact of the matter is Iowa blew it. They had the ball inside the 5, first and goal twice, kicked field goals both times. They should have put Iowa State away. And when they didn't, sometimes it comes back to bite you. So especially early in the season, my guess is later in the year, Iowa would have finished them off. But it's a painful loss because you figure they're going to lose in Columbus. And with their schedule, Thom, it's kind of like Notre Dame. Obviously Notre Dame's loss was far worse than Iowa's loss. But if Notre Dame loses another game, and even if it's to USC on the road after winning 9 in a row, can Notre Dame now get in at 10-2 with that one big glaring loss? Can Iowa get in at 10-2 with the loss at home to Iowa State? If you're Iowa, you're probably rooting for Iowa State now to at least make the Big 12 title game.
Well, at least Iowa State's a P4 team. The Notre Dame thing, last week I declared that the first spot in the 12-team playoff was taken and that Notre Dame would be the 5 seed because they were going to be favored in every game the rest of the season. So they're going undefeated. Maybe you're a 2 or 3 point dog to USC. We'll see what USC really looks like, as the season develops. But they were going to be almost pretty much favored the rest of the way. Then they lose, to Northern Illinois. Now I'm sitting there thinking Riley Leonard hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet this year in 2 games. They're out. They're out, Notre Dame. Now, of course, you got them against Purdue this week, and we know nothing about Purdue because they've played one game against, Indiana State, which I don't even know what Indiana State plays, and I think they're FCS, I guess.
And Purdue's picked to be one of the 3 worst teams in the Big Ten, but it looks as if Riley Leonard is hurt. The whispers now are coming out that he's not 100%, and he certainly plays that way. So, does Notre Dame have the same problem as Michigan, only an easier schedule? I mean, if you don't have a quarterback in 2024, it's really hard to win. Iowa doesn't have a quarterback. They have a great defense. They got a terrific kicking game. They do not have a quarterback. It is tough to win in modern football. The John Schaefers of the world leading the 1986 Penn State team, the Craig Krenzels of the world leading the 2002 Ohio State team. I don't know that you can win and compete for natties with that type of quarterback anymore. I think you got to do a little better.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And I'm on a show, the Bama Tailgate show with Jake Coker every Saturday morning as well. That's aired throughout the state of Alabama. And I hate to say it, I love Jake, but Jake Coker fits into that same mode. I don't know if you can win with a guy like Jake Coker anymore.
And listen, I know he's a big media guy now, but at least Greg McElroy and Jake Coker, they each had a couple of moments during that season where they really did have to make plays. McElroy with the famous drive, at Auburn, trailing in the 4th quarter. Okay, Coker at home against Tennessee is losing with 6 minutes to go when he gets the ball. And he does lead them down the field for the game-winning score. And then in the Natty, he plays really well in the second half when they needed him too. I mean, you at least need something out of the quarterback position. I just don't think you can win a Natty anymore by hiding your quarterback.
And too, you mentioned Riley Leonard and these quarterbacks. All the rage is these transfer quarterbacks, these transfer portal quarterbacks. I'm not so sure that there's not going to be a little bit of a pause, a little bit thinking about these guys, because you look at these guys for the most part. I mean, the kid at Kentucky, Brock Vandagriff, he was supposed to be the answer there. They haven't looked very good. Riley Leonard, as we said, hasn't thrown a touchdown pass yet. DJ Ukulele there at Florida State looks the same like he was at Clemson when he was there before he went off to Oregon State. I'm looking at all the places where they've got these, these hand-picked quarterbacks that are supposed to come in and save the day, and a lot of them are not performing.
Well, I think I can match ones that are performing with everyone that you can bring up who's not. I mean, look at the Ohio State kid who's now at Syracuse. Look at the Washington State kid who's now at Miami. I would even
argue
a good one. Dylan Gabriel has not been the problem at Oregon. It was the offensive line until the second half of the Boise game. So I think it may just be closer to a 50-50 ratio than the assumption that if you get a transfer quarterback, you're hitting gold. It may be hit or miss. I mean, Thom, maybe we have to look at transfer quarterbacks kind of the way we look at quarterbacks drafted in the first round. For the most part, we look at them as a 50-50 proposition. Maybe that's how we should look at transfer quarterbacks.
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah. They're like first-round quarterbacks. And speaking of quarterbacks, you were in San Francisco. Boy, oh boy, I just love Brock Purdy. I mean, for $1 million, it's stealing money from that kid. I know he's going to get paid next year. And Aaron Rodgers looked very, very much pedestrian in that game. First game back, I get it, but I have never been on this Jets bandwagon, and I'm still not on this Jets bandwagon.
Well, I would be more concerned about their run defense. They were 25th in the league in run defense last year. Saleh said, when we need to stop the run, we'll be able to. Apparently not. And so they don't have anybody on the roster to fix that. So I would be more concerned about that. The offensive line pass protection helped for the most part. They didn't run block at all. I mean, he had no running game to play with. And I don't think he's not what he was at 30, where Green Bay could give him nothing to work with and say, go make magic, and he could. I mean, he needs help. He only has one wide receiver and one running back and not much else to work with. They need a healthy Mike Williams, and they need to be able to run the ball a little bit with Breece Hall, and they didn't have either against San Francisco. But I believe it or not, Tom, I'd be more worried about the run defense. Aaron looked tentative in the pocket. There's no doubt. He was not nimble-footed the way he normally is. But his arm was fine. Or he had no problem throwing the ball. He did look a little lead-footed compared to how he normally is in the pocket.
Always a pleasure. David Moulton has been our guest. You got the Dirty Birds up in Philadelphia. All of a sudden, this is a really critical game for Atlanta. They can't go to 0-2. They were favored to beat Pittsburgh at home. Now they got to go win a game up there, and they're 0-2, and the Bucs look really good.
Yeah, but they may catch a break in that the Bucs do go to Detroit. So there's a chance that the Falcons lose this week, but are still only a game behind Tampa, if we're still not counting the Saints as legit.
Yeah, and they may be legit. I mean, because that's the beauty of the NFL. You just don't know. You don't know who's going to be that team. It's going to come out of nowhere, and the Saints might be one of those teams. Who knows?
Well,
all right, man.
And also, It's really not. And I know you got to go, but it's not totally out of nowhere. I mean, they did win 9 games last year. They were not awful last year. They just weren't good enough. We just don't give them any credit.
Yeah, no, they wouldn't be the out-of-nowhere team, but somebody is an out-of-nowhere team. There's going to be some out-of-nowhere team. We just don't know yet, which one it is or what we're looking at yet. But, somebody is going to come out of nowhere and surprise us. And in December, it'll feel normal that this team is a good team. I don't know who they are, but that's the way it always seems to be in the NFL. All right, man. I appreciate you as always. Great stuff.
All right, Tom, all the best to you and the family.
All right, thank you. You too. That's David Moulton on the road there. A little noisy, but on the road. All right, we get a break. When we come back, we are open lines the rest of the way, so get ready to use those lines. You want to jump in, 256-576-4977, right here on the Thom Abraham Show.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is you need a new roof, not when you call Fleming Roofing Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Segment of the show is brought to you by the thousands of area residents who have received world-class care from the Valley's most trusted and experienced group of orthopedic surgeons. That's TOC. And, of course, TOC services not only to Huntsville Havoc and Alabama A&M, but most of the high schools in the region, 13 locations throughout the Tennessee Valley, including in Fayetteville, for those of you listening on WCDT. And if you have orthopedic problems and are considering professional care, TOC is the only logical choice. Stay in the game with TOC. So, Joe, my wife got me AirPods. I told you this tonight. My wife got me AirPods, the actual authentic ones, not the cheapy ones, the real ones. She got them for the birthday, and I am loving them. I have been able to hook them up to the sound bar on both the living room TV and the bedroom TV so that I can listen and watch TV without her having to listen to it, which is really useful on Saturday and Sunday afternoon. And really useful at night because she falls asleep at like 9 o'clock. And then I watch the game. I might be able to like record the baseball game, and then I start watching it when she falls asleep after we got done watching one of our shows. We're watching Tulsa King right now, by the way. That's what we're in that little Sylvester.
I've heard a lot about that one. I've heard a lot.
It's a Sheridan deal and Taylor Sheridan deal. And it's a little bit dark, just like how, Yellowstone is.
Yep.
But it's still it's good TV. And I'm a Stallone fan going way back all the way to 76. Actually, before that, all the way to 72, 74, somewhere in there, Lords of Flatbush. If you ever see Lords of Flatbush pop up late night, on the TV somewhere, and there's this movie on called The Lords of Flatbush, that I would recommend Lords of Flatbush, and I would recommend Diner. Have you ever seen Diner?
I've never seen either one of those. No.
Let me tell you something. You go find Diner. Diner has all of these guys that became huge stars. Mickey Rourke, Paul Reiser, a bunch of these other guys that became Diner is one of the great movies ever made. It's set in 1959 Baltimore. And these guys just hang out at the diner every day. And one of them's getting married, and he's make his girlfriend pass a 100-question test about the Baltimore Colts before they get married. And she's like studying for the test. I mean, I tell you something. Diner is a tremendous movie, and Lords of Flatbush is pretty good too.
So Lords of Flatbush, I can watch on the app Tubi if I want to watch that. So I found that one, so I can watch it. Diner, on the other hand, if I want to watch that, I'm going to need to rent that one because doesn't look like it's on any sort of service whatsoever. But Diner's the one that was Mickey Rourke's first big movie, right? Was that his break?
Yeah, Diner. Okay. That was Mickey Rourke popped in Diner. Lords of Flatbush had a young Sylvester Stallone, a young Henry Winkler. In fact, the Fonz is born in Lords of Flatbush. All right, that's where Henry Winkler became the Fonz, and where he got cast as the Fonz out of Lords of Flatbush. Perry King is in Lords of Flatbush as well. It's a great movie. It should be on. Don't you have like Netflix or Prime or something like that? It should be on one of those.
See, on Google, a lot of times what's awesome is you can go to it and you put in a movie, and off to the side, it'll say where you can watch it if it's on any service. So like Lords of Flatbush, it says that you can also watch it on Amazon Prime, which is what Tubi kind of is. So that's how I was able to find that one. Diner, on the other hand, I may have to go through and see if I can find that one somewhere.
Are you seeing the promotional picture for Lords of Flatbush with Henry Winkler standing alongside of Sylvester Stallone? I mean, that's the Fonz. That's where it started. It was before Happy Days, but that's where they saw him, and they're like, okay, that's the guy we want to have be the Fonz, which is really funny because he's not Italian. He's a Jewish kid from New York. But in any event, good stuff. Now, the other thing I do with my AirPods is I listen to some music right before I go to sleep. And about every other night, I listen to Freebird. You know what I mean? I got to listen to Freebird and the entire thing with the 5-minute instrumental, the 5-minute, open of it. And Brandon sent us Freebird on bagpipes. Is that right? Have you seen this?
Yeah, he did send it, Brandon. That's right. You sent that to me, didn't you?
Did you sample it at all, Joe?
No, I've not done it. I have not sampled it yet. No.
Now, Brandon's up. Brandon, is it the whole Freebird or just the instrumental part of Freebird?
It appears to be pretty much the whole thing. I mean, from what I could tell, I listened to a good 2.5 minutes of it, and it was pretty amazing. I think she did the whole thing. I don't know if they recorded all of it, but it was well done.
is there lyrics? Is there singing to it too, or is it just
No,
just
she is just playing like all of the parts of the music on the bagpipes, like all by herself, from what I can tell.
Joe, I want you to cue up just the instrumental part of that, then, from the jump, and we got to hear what that part of it sounds like, because I can't imagine that on bagpipes. You know what I mean? I need to get that. I'll send that over to my buddy Ricky Medlock, the lead guitar for Freebird, and have him say, "Hey, have you ever heard your song on on this here bagpipes?" So anyway, Brandon, what's going on?
You're talking about movies. If you ever get a chance, check out a movie, Lightfoot and Thunderbolt. It's got Jeff Bridges.
Yeah,
that is a cracked out movie. I watched that the other night and I thought, wow, it's one of Gary Busey's first movies from 1974.
Was Burt Reynolds in that or no?
I don't think he was.
I don't know. Yeah.
I know I'm not thinking he was in there, but it was a hilarious movie. What's her Daisy Duke from Dukes of Hazzard? Catherine Bach was in it.
She's in it. Yeah,
she's in it, and it just really blew me away that. I thought that was a pretty funny movie. That's back when you could actually get away with stuff back in the day. So, but congratulations to you. Happy birthday. 2 years to full Social Security.
How many?
The 2 years for you? You got
3. I'm 64. Okay. I know. I get 67. My father trying to get me to retire. He's like, why don't you retire now and take your, I said, I can't, because if I retire before 67, I can only make $20,000 a year. And I can't do that. So at 67, I can make as much money as I want to make and take my full Social Security. So I'm not taking my Social Security. I'm not that. I'm a young 64. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm 64, but I don't feel a minute over 63.
Yeah, like your dad's retired.
I told him. I said,
run.
I said, why don't you retire first? My father's been taking Social Security for 22 years. He was able to take his at 62, full. He was able to take his full Social Security at 62 and keep working. And he's still working. He's still running his business. And he's been taking it for 62 or for 22 years. He says, I showed them. I got it all back. I'm like, no, you probably haven't.
Well, I wanted to at least give you the bagpipes Freebird for your birthday and call in and say how great the pot roast at Baumhauer's was yesterday. That food is always so good. Really enjoyed it. Roll Tide, and I'll leave you with it.
All right, man. Appreciate you. I would want to hear just the instrumental, I think.
Yeah,
of
so
it. You have to sample it first a little bit.
So it's kind of weird to say this when I'm surrounded by computer monitors in this room. But apparently the computer monitor that I need to use to play that, when I open up the browser to try to go to YouTube, it says that it is way too outdated and it is unable to play. So
really?
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'll get it here.
Yeah, it's the instrumental. If you go to YouTube and put in Freebird bagpipes, it's going to be a video of a girl playing bagpipes and another one with the violin. I've watched videos of the girl with the violin play, and she is absolutely amazing.
So the violin is in the Freebird too?
The violin is in the Freebird. If you go to when you do go to Facebook, or not Facebook, but YouTube, and type it in to look for it, it'll be the first video that pops up. You'll see two ladies standing in a field, one with bagpipes and one with the violin.
So I wonder, see, he sent us the link of the one on Facebook.
Yeah, the one he sent us is like a live version when it's at like this Celtic festival that's playing. So I went to try to find the better version, the recorded version of it, so you could hear that.
Okay. All right, let's get Grumpy in here before the break. Grumpy, welcome in. How are you?
Pretty good. I thought somebody sent you that 2 years ago, the bagpipe Freebird, and you played it on the show.
Maybe. I don't remember things anymore, but yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. Allie the Piper is the best one. There's several that do it, but hey, listen, it's your birthday, right? Happy birthday, right?
Thank you. Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Right,
yes, it is my birthday. I didn't do anything. I mean, my mom, really, I should be wishing her happy birthday.
No doubt. Hey, so I think the best bet on the board right now is that Texas quarterback. I know it's early, man, but to get the good odds, for the Heisman, pay 6 to. I load up on him, man. Pay 6 to 1 right now. I know it's really early, but it's going to be someone from a big school, and it's going to be a quarterback. I think it's a pretty good bet at 6 to 1.
the kid out at Oregon has slipped a little bit, as David said, to no doing of his own, more so to the doing of the offensive line of the Oregon Ducks. But yeah, he's a good look at it. Yeah.
Okay,
Cam Ward, I think, is somebody. I don't know what Cam Ward's number is right now. He's another one.
Yeah, I'd hate to do this on the air, man, but I don't know who to call on the app. I've got the app, and I tried to listen to some high school football, I kept seeing the graphics jumping up and down like someone was speaking, but I couldn't get it to come through. If I download this app and reload it and everything, and I go to zone 2, 3, or 4 during the week, is that dead air, or can I check to make sure it's working and your show is on all those zones?
I believe that I am on all of those during the show. I believe that will be coming through on also. Double check that. We had one other person that was having a problem on Saturday on Friday night at about middle of the first quarter. They were having a problem where the only game coming through all of them was my game. But yet we kind of keep checking it. The guy's in studio, Scott Tyson's in studio, and he's usually, sampling all of them. And the numbers show, we're able to go in and look at all of the games and see, how many people were listening to each game. And the numbers show strong listenership on Friday night to all these different games. So it might be different. I don't know if you got Android or an Apple phone and different things like that. Google phone. Yeah.
You are on all the feeds if we're not airing a game.
So right now I'm on all the feeds?
Yeah, right now you're on all the feeds. And if you go to the feeds now, it doesn't just say zone 3, zone 4, zone 5. It now gives you the team on each one of them.
Yeah, on the app.
On the app, yes, sir.
So on the app. So now when people go to the app, they'll see, this is Huntsville, this is this is Buckhorn, this is so on and so forth. Westminster.
All right, bro. I appreciate it, man. Happy birthday later.
All right, thanks. Yeah, that was a good thing for us to be able to do, I think, is to go ahead and put those put those logos on there so people don't have to, because we know what games are on zone 2, 3, 4, and 5, but the listener, they're just looking for their game, so now they can go and they see Westminster Christian, boom, hit that, and then they can listen to that game. All right, let's get a break. When we come back, phone lines remain open. More to Thom Abraham Show next.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Get insights into the sports betting market with VSiN's betting splits. See where the money is and keep updated on how the market is reacting. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
College football Saturday, number 4 Alabama on the road to take on Wisconsin and Camp Randall in Madison. Both teams at 2-0. Alabama a 16-point road favorite, minus 800 on the money line. Wisconsin plus 550 with the over-under at 51.5, the over at even money, and the under minus 120. The Auburn Tigers home to take on the New Mexico Lobos. Auburn a 28.5-point home favorite, minus 7,500 on the money line. New Mexico plus 2,500. Over-under at Jordan-Hare Stadium is at 60.5. For VSiN.com, I'm Tony Desiri, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Owen Home Appliance Center features the biggest names in home appliances like Viking, Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, GE, and Frigidaire. But they also have great brands that you may not know, like Mela, Forno, Z-Line, Invisicook, and Beko. But no matter what, they all get delivered the day you buy, and they service everything they sell. And at the Lacey Spring Showroom, just 8 miles south of the river on 231, you'll find a totally interactive showroom where you can hear the dishwashers wash and the freezers free and see the cookies get baked in the double ovens. Owen Home Appliance Center will even wash and dry a load of clothes for you so that you can see how great the products are. And they have ice machines making all kinds of ice, cubed, nugget, and top hat. How is that for variety? Owen Home Appliance Center believes in community involvement as well, sponsoring youth teams, race cars, and an annual Easter egg hunt. Quality products, quality pricing, quality service is the name of the game for Owen Home Appliance Center. Find them in Somerville and Lacey Springs and online at owenappliance.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money. You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. More cloud cover this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. We're going to stay free from any rain Wednesday afternoon, but we are going to be just a touch on the breezy end of the spectrum. Sustained winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Could get some wind gusts up to 30 or 35 miles per hour. Rain moves into the Tennessee Valley as we head into the overnight, early into your Thursday morning. Temperatures dropping into the mid 60s. We're talking about showers and thunderstorms through a good majority of Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Some of those thunderstorms could be on the stronger end of the spectrum. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Steve Moulton from The Drive. Be sure and join us today from 5 to 7 with Wes Neighbors and me. Now back to the Thom Abraham Show on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Welcome back, Thom Abraham Show. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, Brandon. So you notice Mia and Allie, I guess, are these two girls that played this. So what they did, Joe, was they laid down the drums. You can hear the guitars and you can hear the drums in the background, but they add the violin and the bagpipes to this. And I just went in about, a minute or so, minute and a half or so that I can get to the jump. And I literally got a chill. I mean, because this is my favorite song of all time. I mean, the instrumental of Freebird is the greatest single piece of music ever recorded in the history of mankind. I'm talking Bach, Beethoven, whatever, okay? It's the greatest single piece of music ever recorded since ever, all right? So it's so good. I need to change, hang on. I need to change the background because I got a grim background at WZZN TV. I don't like that. I got a little bit of a grim background. Here, let me throw this one in there. So I can be a little bit of a happier background. All right, there you go. There's downtown Huntsville. And this is a treat for all of us. And if you don't like this, I am sorry. If you don't like this, I don't know who you are. Wait for it. Wait for it. Are you kidding me? This song came out 30 years before these girls were born. I gotta ask Ricky if he's heard this. Why does nobody make this music anymore? You gotta be kidding. I can't even talk. I can't. As soon as this show's over, I got to play this for my son. My son, the musician, who has a heart for rock and roll as well. I mean, Joe, come on, Joe.
Oh, no,
I
I'm
mean,
not disagreeing. I actually vote to replace that Monday Night Football music, that god awfulness that you play on Fridays, with that. I totally vote that personally.
Well, let's not be crazy.
No.
I
think it's some good. I think it'd be some good.
That's different.
Look,
that is
no.
Oh. See, that's different. That's sports music. See, that's sports music. This other deal here with these two chicks. I mean,
so look, go on Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, go on Instagram and look up Mia, and her handle is Mia. I think it's Sano, Sano music, and she does so many covers of so many different songs, like whether it's cartoons, like Power Rangers when I was like in the 90s. She has Devil Went Down to Georgia. She has one I've seen.
Can't be better than this though. I mean, this is the greatest.
No, but I'm just saying, like, and all of these things like this, like she does this for a living. Like this is her profession. She tours and stuff with bands, and she comes out with the violin. Like I'm there in all of these songs. There's some Linkin Park in there. I'm going through her feed right now. All of it is absolutely amazing that she does.
If you're Skinner, don't you invite them to come to the show? I mean, wouldn't you want to play?
Well, yeah,
with
just
them
so you can get somebody under 75 that'll go watch it.
LSU lynches them. LSU Lynch, are your ears? I was like an eargasm. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Look here. Call Me to Breathe is my favorite song of my life ever.
Yeah. That doesn't suck.
But that,
I mean,
right there is amazing, man. I've never heard that one. But
I've never heard.
I think that Grumpy was right. I think that was on the show a couple years ago. I think he was right.
I don't think I've ever heard that. If I ever heard that, I would have known I heard that. I mean, that is ridiculous. Redunculous.
All right, look, I got a song for you.
Yeah.
On your birthday. It's like you knocking on Social Security's door, ain't you? Go Trojans.
Knocking on heaven's door. I thought I had that in the rotation at one point. I'm not knocking on heaven's door. Harry. Come on, Harry. I'm a young 64, Harry.
Tom, happy birthday.
Thank you, Harry.
Hey, look, two points that often get overlooked here during this tragic remembrance of 9/11.
No.
On that very day here in Huntsville, Alabama, we were conducting a design review for the missile defense capability that was to be deployed in Alaska. The reason they used airplanes is they didn't have access to missiles. And the Department of Defense realized that we were being subjected in the future to threats from ballistic missiles to attack on the continental United States. On that very day, we were doing the final design review for the emergency deployment of a capability to defend the United States against that type of attack. And that was really, really tragic to watch it happening and unfolding, and realizing that we were late to the table trying to get that capability delivered. Mm-hmm. Now we have a robust missile defense capability, global missile defense capability, that really keeps our threats honest and defending our country. The other thing that went unnoticed was Lee Eby was doing a major renovation to the Pentagon while that was going on. And when that plane hit the outer ring of the Pentagon, his foresight enabled and the ability to make the decision early to place the air conditioning and electrical systems in a positive control center ahead of the scheduled renovations. It was a phased renovation, as you can well imagine, in an administrative space that large, having to move people out, do the work and everything. He went and established the control center. When that plane hit the Pentagon, from that control center, they were very quickly able to isolate the electrical and mechanical systems in that area and turn the other mechanical systems to control the smoke and heat in that area and save countless lives from that simple decision he made very early in the design process. All of that was Huntsville essentially going on under the limelights of what was happening. But again, just the relevance of what the Department of Defense does here in Huntsville, Alabama, and the impact it has on our nation.
Tremendous intel, Harry. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. And yeah, I had heard that story before, and that is tremendous stuff. Saved lives. All right, we'll grab a break. We'll come back and wrap it up next. Thom Abraham Show.
You're listening to the Thom Abraham Show with Joe Hunk on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
You want the right specialist for your recovery. At SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, we understand every body is different. Your muscles and bones are unique, as is your body. Our SportsMed specialists offer innovative treatments and minimally invasive procedures, allowing you to quickly return to the life you love. Locations in Huntsville, Madison, Athens, and Decatur, and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Improving performance, improving lives.
You want to get into some football?
The college football playoffs.
Playoffs? We'll talk about playoffs.
And the national championship game all play right here.
Let's talk football.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Well, the anthem brought to you by Minuteman Press for the 2-minute warning. Minuteman Press, all things printed on paper is Minuteman Press, including other things as well, like banners, tents, promotional items, pens, whatever it is that you want. How do you like that aerial shot of Big Spring Park? Joe, you like that one?
Oh, no, that one brings back a lot of memories right there. I've spent a lot of time in that one.
Yeah. Like that one.
Backdrop's looking good, man. It looks good.
Yeah, the backdrops are looking good. I'm enjoying that. Tomorrow, Joe, I'll be at Salt Factory down in Mid-City. In fact, Friday night, my daughter, your former classmate, is going to be down at Mid-City. She's going to be playing at the camp as they have their album release for Luna Koi, In Over My Head. Their new album drops. And they'll have that show coming up at the camp in Mid-City, 8 o'clock Friday night, free admission. So check that out. That's my little girl. Paul Feinbaum is next. Have a great day, everybody.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. This just in.